Hello all, welcome back to Access Tech. I hope everyone is doing good. As you know, in the previous sessions, we had covered the cloud fundamentals by seeing what is cloud computing and cloud service models and cloud deployment models. So now we're going to start one of the global leading cloud computing service provider, that is AWS, Amazon Web Services. So AWS is a cloud computing platform by Amazon. So this cloud computing service provider, Amazon Web Services, that lets you rent IT resources. So whenever you want any IT resources, you can approach this AWS cloud computing service provider. IT resources like servers, storage, databases, networking are including AI tools. So any user, if any requirement of IT resources, they can get rental access of these IT resources over the internet. Instead of buying these physical hardware, right? Instead of buying servers, storage, networking, and maintaining these resources, instead of buying it physically and maintaining these resources, you can simply get it over the rental from this respective cloud computing service provider called AWS. So that in simple words, AWS lets companies run their applications without owning the servers, and you pay only for what you use, right? We are paying only for what are the resources that we are using. We are paying only that much. Like it is a model of pay as you go model. Fine. Now, what can you do with AWS? With AWS, you can host the websites, and you can host your mobile applications, and you can store the data, and you can analyze the data, and you can build AI and machine learning solutions, and you can have the backups. You can use these cloud facilities for the backups or for the disaster recoveries. Right. So it means from the college projects to very big applications like Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. Everyone is using the same platform. It is AWS. Even if you are in the college level and if you want to deploy any, if you want to host any websites in the server, if you want to run any mobile applications, or if you want to store your application data, or if you want to use this AI and machine learning solutions, and if you want to do backups of your data to overcome the disasters, to recovery from the disaster actions, we are simply go to this AWS to get these respective services. So even from the college projects to the very large market leading softwares like Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these softwares are running inside this AWS. Now, what is the advantages of AWS? Why we need to go to AWS? The first thing is, if you see the advantages of this AWS, first thing, it is in a pay as you go model. Pay as you go model. What do you mean by this pay as you go model? As I told you, let me take one simple example. Let's say this is me, and if I'm using a Uber, if I'm traveling for 10 kilometers, or if I'm traveling for 15 kilometers, after finishing the ride, based on the kilometers that I have traveled, I'll pay only to the respective traveling distance. It means I am paying the amount as per my usage. It means there is no advance cost, right? I'm not paying any advance cost. You can also call as upfront. So to make these terms clear, let's say this is me, and if I'm using any Netflix platform, if I want to use this Netflix platform, what I need to do before a month, I need to take a subscription, right? Before a month, I need to take a subscription, and it is up to my headache whether I am watching the movies or not. It is up to my headache. But before a month, I need to take a subscription. Then only I have the access to all this Netflix. This is what the advance are upfront. But if you go to the AWS cloud, First, you try to use the services. First, you access the resources from the AWS. As per the usage, then you may pay to the AWS. Right? It means there is no upfront hardware cost. Pay per hour or pay per second usage. So that is a advantage of this AWS. And what is the next advantage? The second advantage you can see here, it is a massive scalability. What do you mean by massive scalability? Here, let's say in this AWS, using this AWS, I set up a server. And this server configuration, I selected 10 GB as a hard disk. I allocated 10 GB as a hard disk to the server. If the 10 GB hard disk is not enough to me, I can scale these resources. I can upgrade these resources within seconds. Within seconds, I can scale these resources. If the storage is heavy to me, I can also degrade. So I can upgrade, I can degrade, right? But will it be possible in the real time? Let's say I have the physical computer, a server on the on-premises in my organization. Will it be possible to you to easily scale the resources? Whether to upgrade or degrade, will it be possible to you in an easy manner? No, it is very costly process. But if you go to the cloud computing, it is very easy to you, right? As per the requirement, you can scale up. If you don't have the requirement, you can scale down. It's based on the requirement, and everything happens in a seconds. That is one thing. One more thing, it is a high reliability. High reliability. What do you mean by this high reliability? What is this advantage? So if you see this AWS, which is a global leading cloud computing service provider, it have the data centers across the global. Right? AWS is maintaining its data centers across the global. What in my data centers? These are the physical buildings where the IT resources are maintained with continuous power supply, continuous cooling system. It means across the global, like North America, South America, or Africa, right? Europe. Okay. So across the global, AWS having its data centers. What in my data center? They are the physical buildings with the IT resource, a lot of IT resources, right? So it means if any customer, if any user want to access the resources, they can get the resources as per the requirement. It means if any user want to access this AWS resources, they can get these resources as per the requirement because the data centers are spread across the global, right? If this data center is not working, the user might access the resources from the another setup of this AWS because these AWS data centers are spread across the global. So it is built for fault tolerance, high reliability, and fault tolerance. So don't worry about these terms called scalability, reliability, fault tolerance. Okay. In the next section, I will take this topic. I'll clearly explain you what we mean by these technical terms. Fine. That is one more advantage. So if you move forward, if you go to AWS, it is providing huge service portfolio. It means it is almost providing more than 200 plus services in different categories. Like under compute, it is providing lot of services. Under storage section, under storage category, it is providing lot of services. Under databases, it is providing lot of services. Under AI, IoT, robotics, security, etc. So under different categories, this AWS is providing more than 200 plus services altogether. So it is easy to the customers, easy to the users to get the services as per the requirement. Fine. Now, you might ask, there are there are other cloud computing service providers also, like Azure, GCP, Alibaba, Oracle, etc. But why is AWS is so popular? Because everywhere AWS is using a lot. Because if you observe, every company is using the AWS. So why this AWS is so popular? First thing is, this AWS started providing the rental services from the year 2006. It started its journey way back in the 2006. It means much earlier than other competitors. So by the time others came into the market, AWS already matured enough in providing its services. That is one reason. One more reason, it is trusted by very big brands in the market. If you observe, where the Netflix, Spotify, Samsung, Adobe, okay, all these major workloads are running inside this AWS by using these AWS services or AWS resources. All these major trusted brands, big brands, are running using these AWS resources. That is one thing. One more thing, AWS is continuously launches new services. In the technical side, if any innovations had happened, AWS will pick up that space and it will start launching a new services with better pricing, right? And spreading across the global, so opening a new regions, so where the users can access the resources from the respective regions. And it is also providing some advanced AI tools as per the current market trends. And it has a strong ecosystem also. AWS is also building strong ecosystem in the form of its certifications, globally recognized certifications, or in the form of its community channels, or in the form of providing partnerships or partner recognition, or in the form of providing its learning resources using skill builders, right? So it is also building strong ecosystem across the global. Finally, I am going to conclude this why AWS is very popular, because so far I am telling that AWS is very popular with this information. To make it very clear, so this is a Gartner report. So according to this Gartner report, as per the Magic Quadrant, let me show you this. So in this Gartner report Magic Quadrant, so if you see this Gartner report Magic Quadrant, so now if you observe this report is provided by the Gartner company, right? So it will do independent evaluation of all the technologies companies and it will provide a Magic Quadrant. So here it is provided a Magic Quadrant for the strategic cloud platform services, and it is the latest report provided by this Gartner organization. Now, if you see in this leaders dashboard, this Amazon Web Services is in the top, leading all the other public cloud competitors. So it is not for the first time. Over the decade, right? Over the decade, it means from last 10 years, Amazon is leading this leaders dashboard. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So with this, we may conclude that AWS is very popular comparing to other public cloud computing service providers. Thank you all. We'll see you in the next session.